Hello and welcome everyone. This is Type V3 with a Gunpla review of the 1 to 100 scale Gundam Barbatos, a no-grade model kit of the lead mecha from Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. This gradeless model kit comes with a total of 11 parts, about the same amount of a standard high grade. There's 9 main plastic runners, a set of polycaps, and a sheet of foil stickers. The build itself is interesting as assembling a full inner frame is part of the experience. In fact, the manual instructs you to build out the inner frame first, then snap on the armor plates and finish up with the weapons, a process that's very familiar to master grade Gunpla. That said, the inner frame in this kit is purely for structural support as it doesn't contain the advanced features found in a modern MG. Overall, it was a fun build that resembled the more advanced kits without the smaller and complex componentry. When completed, the 1 to 100 Barbatos serves as a great representation of the mobile suit and, at the time of this recording, probably the best out there. Sculpting, while simple, is accurate to the on-screen model, and most surfaces are smooth. Part separation is good, with the majority of the colors being applied correctly. The finer points, much like its high-grade variant, will be handled via the use of stickers. The metallic red emblems and the yellow shoulder trim are the most visible of these, while the gold stickers that highlight the inner frame are hidden beneath the armor plates. As it is, I think a straight assembly looks just good enough for display, but the increased size could have benefited from increased panel etching. It's also worth mentioning that unlike the 1 to 1/44th scale version, this 1 to 100 only allows you to display it in its completed 4th form. With the combination of color separation and sticker use being quite effective, there really isn't much needed on the Barbatos for animation accuracy. Unless, of course, stickers just aren't your thing. The basic sculpting doesn't give way to many panel lining opportunities either, though seamline coverage will be beneficial to the shoulder pads. On the other hand, because of the increased size of this Gunpla, the simple aesthetics can come off a bit dull. So it may be worth experimenting with different colors or even adding in your own personal creative touches to give this kit a stronger visual edge. For height, this 1 to 100 scale kit hovers around the 7.5 inch mark. Compared against its 1 to 1/44th scale cousin, you can see some striking similarities. Even so, there are enough slight modifications to set them apart. Articulation starts with a ball joint at the head, so you can go left to right, tilt side to side, up and down is pretty good. There is a small hinge at the base of the neck, but it doesn't really move that much, it just kind of wiggles. The torso has the ball joint at the bottom, which lets you go side to side. You can get some tilting action in there too. And at the bottom of the chest, there's another ball joint, and these two pistons actually move in and out, so that can give you the ab crunch, which works pretty well. The arms here are connected at 2 points. There's a ball joint that goes into the torso that gives you slight wiggle, and then the actual arm itself is connected into this middle piece via a universal joint, so this gets you in and out, up and down, and all around. The shoulder pad is just on its separate hinge here, and if you want, you can just pop it off quite easily. There is a bicep swivel. You do have double joints at the elbow for pretty good articulation, and then the wrists are just on a ball joint with no hinge. The hip skirts are simple, as the front ones are each connected on ball joints that let them go forward and downwards and kind of shift out of the way. The side skirts can only be hinged outwards. The back plate is stationary. The hips themselves, they can rock forwards and backwards rather than up and down. They are connected by universal joints, so they can kick forwards pretty well. They can kick outwards pretty well. You do get double joints at the knee, though again, because of the design, this is very chunky and it does take up a lot of space. The ankle is connected by a single hinge right at the base of the leg. The foot can bend downwards, this ankle guard can move on its own, and that bulbous section here serves as a very nice ankle rocking joint. Lastly, the center of the backpack can hinge outwards. Articulation is good enough to see you through most poses, yet won't outperform the smaller high-grade Barbatos. If anything, the stiffness of the inner frame will make you believe this is a full-on master-grade kit in hand. Accessories start with a second pair of hands in the form of gripping fists. These are solely for use with the Gundam's weapons. First up is the longsword, and it's basically a giant, all-gray katana. There are no stickers provided for it, so you'll need to paint in the hilt for anime accuracy. Tabs in the handle allow for a strong grip, and weight issues aren't a thing. There's also a backpack clip included for storage. The second and last item included is the small bore gun. It's essentially a giant rifle with a bottom-mounted machine gun, and it's anything but small. This weapon attaches to the Gundam's backpack, and there are even revised backpack covers that give the appearance of an integrated connection. When in use, the backpack plate disconnects, and the large cannon unfolds and extends. However, because the weapon isn't actually held by the Barbatos, a separate arm connector must be used to link the backpack and the disconnected plate. Honestly, it's pretty tedious to set up, still the end result looks devastating. As a final note, this kit doesn't include any way to be mounted on a display stand. Instead, you'll need to separately purchase an action-based one that includes the compatible 8mm adapter. Much mystery surrounded the 1:100 scale gradeless Gundam Barbatos when Bandai first revealed it months ago. Was it the return of the 1:100 high grades? Could it be a master grade in disguise, a combination of both, or maybe something else entirely? Well, for starters, going by current MG standards, this is easily not a master grade. It just lacks the complexity and feature set to be considered one. At the same time, the full inner frame keeps it one step above the HG kit, and compared to the equivalent 1:144 scale Barbatos, there's a notable difference between the two. I mean, this isn't just an upscaled version of that. So what exactly is it? Well, I still don't know how I'd label it myself. What I do know is that this is a great kit. More than anything, this is the type of model kit that will please the widest audience of Gundam fans. It combines the large 1:100 scale size with a master grade-like building experience that results in a good-looking Gundam, all while maintaining a relatively affordable 2,500 yen price point. No, it's not perfect, yet with all the goals that the 1:100 Gundam Barbatos manages to achieve, it's hard to be bothered by the niggling issues. If you've been swept up in the hype of Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, yet have been hung up on which scale of model kits to delve into, the 1:100 offerings seem like the path most worth traveling down. But that's all for me. Thanks for watching, and my lust for this Gundam isn't quite fulfilled, as there's still one more Barbatos that's given me high expectations.